Appearances are everything in the dazzling world of high-profile lawyers and exclusive penthouses. Life seemed picture-perfect for Logan Carter, a millionaire attorney known for his sharp wit and unshakable confidence. His towering reputation in the legal world commanded respect, and his success was the envy of his peers. Logan had it all. To the outside world, a thriving career, a beautiful wife, and 2 delightful children. But perfection often comes at a cost. Behind the gilded facade of the Carter family's polished life lay a story of unspoken struggles and unmet expectations. Logan's obsession with career dominance left cracks in the foundation of his home life. At the same time, Amelia, his graceful and elegant wife, wore the mask of a supportive partner, concealing the emotional distance between them. Their children, Emily and Noah, were navigating a world where their father's fleeting attention felt as rare as a shooting star. One evening, as Logan hosted a lavish dinner party for his law firm partners, he made a point at someone else's expense. What began as a simple question to the family nanny soon unraveled into a moment that would expose far more than anyone expected. Beneath the glimmer of chandeliers and the clinking of crystal glasses, the dynamics of the Carter household were laid bare. What happens when the weight of ambition collides with the realities of family life? How does one navigate the fine line between success and fulfillment? Stay with us as we explore the intricate lives of the Carters, where secrets simmer, resilience blooms, and life-changing decisions are made. If you enjoy heartfelt stories with emotional depth, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you won't miss the next chapter. Let's dive into the untold truths behind this seemingly perfect family. Logan Carter stood at the pinnacle of his profession. Known as the closer among his peers, his mere presence in the courtroom struck fear into the hearts of opposing counsel. His victories were legendary, his strategies impeccable, and his reputation unshakable. With a 6-figure suit and a disarming smile, Logan could charm judges, sway juries, and clinch deals worth millions. He embodied success for the media and his colleagues, a man who had seemingly mastered the art of life. Yet, for all his accolades, Logan was driven by an unrelenting need to stay on top. Success was not just his goal. It was his identity. Every victory, every accolade, every headline came with a price. Sacrifices he was willing to make, even if it meant distancing himself from the people who mattered most. At home, Logan's commanding presence often gave way to absence. While he remembered sending luxurious gifts for birthdays and anniversaries, participating in these milestones was rare. Instead, the glow of his laptop and the sharp tones of his conference calls filled the Carter penthouse. Logan believed his family admired him for providing a life of comfort and privilege. What he failed to see was the growing void his absence left behind. Amelia Carter, his wife, had once adored this ambitious side of him. In their early days, she was swept away by his drive and promises of a glittering future. But over time, those promises began to feel hollow. The ambitious young man she had fallen in love with had become a distant figure, consumed by his career. Logan no longer saw Amelia as a partner, but as a piece of his curated image, a socialite who graced charity galas and magazine covers while keeping their home running smoothly. But Amelia was more than just a trophy wife. Beneath her poised exterior was a woman holding together the fragile threads of a family fraying at the edges. She attended Emily and Noah's school events alone, filled their days with activities to distract them from their father's absence, and maintained the illusion of a perfect life. Yet, every evening, as she sat by her gilded mirror preparing for another function or event, she couldn't ignore the emptiness in her reflection. The children, Emily and Noah, bore the brunt of their father's neglect in ways they couldn't yet articulate. 7-year-old Emily, wise beyond her years, often acted as the peacemaker, sensing the tension in the household and stepping in to diffuse it. She idolized her father but understood, in a way that only a child could, that his love came in brief, fleeting moments. 5-year-old Noah, full of boundless energy, still hoped that his father would someday set aside his work and truly see him. For now, their understanding of Logan was fragmented. A tousle of the hair or a quick compliment seemed monumental to Noah, while Emily watched these gestures with quiet longing. her gaze betraying the weight of her unspoken questions. Why can't he stay? Why doesn't he want to? Against this backdrop of strained family dynamics, Sophia Bennett stepped into the Carter household. A 24-year-old college student juggling her law studies and multiple part-time jobs, Sophia had applied for the live-in nanny position out of necessity. She expected it to be just another job, a way to pay her tuition and keep her dreams of becoming a lawyer alive. She hadn't anticipated becoming a lifeline for a family on the brink of emotional collapse. When Amelia first met Sophia, she was struck by the young woman's quiet confidence. Unlike other candidates who delivered rehearsed responses, Sophia spoke candidly about her love for children and aspirations. Her demeanor was calm, her warmth genuine, and her intelligence undeniable. Amelia, exhausted from trying to keep up with the demands of motherhood and a strained marriage, had made her decision within minutes. Logan, however, had barely glanced at Sophia during her introduction. His handshake was perfunctory, his tone dismissive. "Just make sure she does her job," he had told Amelia later that evening. For him, Sophia was another cog in the well-oiled machine of his household, one he expected to run smoothly without his involvement. Sophia's early days in the Carter household tested her resilience. Logan's aloofness is evident, but she focuses on her role, building trust with Emily and Noah. It didn't take long for her to win them over. Sophia transformed ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. Storytime became an adventure, with her vivid animations eliciting giggles and gasps from the children. Mealtime became a bonding ritual, with Sophia encouraging Emily to share her thoughts about her day and helping Noah articulate his feelings. She introduced games, crafts, and even impromptu science experiments, filling the penthouse with bursts of laughter that had long been absent. Emily, who had always been reserved, blossomed under Sophia's care. She admired how Sophia listened to her with genuine interest, asked thoughtful questions, and treated her as an equal. For Noah, Sophia became an endless source of joy. She joined his imaginative games wholeheartedly, never dismissing his wild ideas. When he decided to build a rocket ship from cardboard boxes, Sophia helped him gather materials and climbed into the cockpit, pretending they were blasting off to the moon. Amelia, watching from a distance, felt a quiet sense of relief. For the first time in years, she saw her children genuinely happy. But amidst this newfound joy, Amelia couldn't ignore the tension between Sophia and Logan. While the children adored her, Logan remained cold, treating her presence as an afterthought. One evening, as Sophia helped Noah clean up his scattered toys, Logan appeared in the doorway. His tone was brisk, and his words were directed more at Amelia than Sophia. "Are we sure she's qualified for this? These kids need discipline, not someone playing games all day." Amelia's voice was firm but measured. "Sophia is doing a wonderful job, Logan. The children adore her, and I've seen nothing but positive changes since she started." Logan's gaze flickered to Sophia, his expression unreadable. "We'll see," he muttered before walking away. The tension lingered long after he left, but Sophia remained focused on her role. Emily and Noah needed her, and that was all that mattered. Sophia's journey in the Carter household had just begun, but her presence was already sparking change in ways none could have anticipated. Sophia's influence on the Carter household was undeniable. In just a few short weeks, she had created a sense of stability that Amelia had struggled to achieve independently. Once cautious and introverted, Emily began to open up, her confidence blooming like a flower reaching for sunlight. Noah, whose boundless energy often turned into frustration, found in Sophia a patient guide who channeled his enthusiasm into creativity. Sophia introduced routines that brought a sense of connection back into the children's lives. Breakfast became a time for shared laughter, with Noah delighting in Sophia's silly pancake faces and Emily sharing her dreams for the day ahead. Bedtime, once a lonely ritual of whispered goodnights, transformed into a moment of closeness. Sophia read stories with vivid animation, her voice painting worlds of wonder that made the children giggle and gasp. Her presence filled the cracks left by Logan's absence, creating a sense of warmth and belonging. For Amelia, Sophia was more than just a nanny. She was a source of hope, Watching her children light up around Sophia filled Amelia with a bittersweet gratitude. She often paused in the middle of her day to observe Sophia playing with Emily and Noah, her heart swelling with relief and sadness. Sophia's presence underscored what had been missing in their lives: a genuine connection. One rainy afternoon, Amelia found herself doorway, watching Sophia and the children build an elaborate pillow fort. Noah, dressed as a superhero, declared himself protector of the fort, while Emily carefully arranged fairy lights to make their hideout magical. Amelia couldn't remember the last time she had seen her children so carefree. But as much as Sophia had brought joy to the household, her presence also highlighted the gaps in Logan's role as a father. He remained distant, and his interactions with Sophia were limited to polite nods and curt instructions. Despite the apparent changes in his children, Emily's newfound confidence and Noah's calmer demeanor, Logan seemed oblivious, too consumed by his work to notice. One evening, as Sophia helped Emily rehearse for her upcoming school play, Logan walked into the room. His gaze briefly landed on the scene, Emily animatedly acting out her lines while Sophia applauded, but he said nothing. Instead, he retreated to his home office, his focus already shifting to the glow of his laptop. Sophia couldn't help but feel a pang of frustration. She had come to care deeply for Emily and Noah, and seeing their father so disconnected hurt. Sophia knew better than to voice her thoughts. Logan was a man of walls, polished, impenetrable, and unyielding. Yet, a part of her hoped that, with time, those walls might begin to crack. The Carter penthouse shimmered under the soft glow of chandeliers, its polished floors reflecting the grandeur of the evening. Logan meticulously planned every detail of the dinner party to impress his law firm partners. The imported wines, the custom-printed menus, and the floral arrangements were all chosen to showcase Logan's perfectionist touch. This wasn't just a gathering, it was a performance, with Logan as the star. Amelia moved through the flurry of preparations with practiced grace, though the weight bore heavily on her. She adjusted centerpieces for the third time, her smile a mask of composure. Beneath the surface, resentment simmered. She had hosted countless events like this, always managing the expectations Logan imposed, but tonight felt heavier. Logan's demand for perfection came at a cost that Amelia bore quietly. The children, curious about the commotion, peeked around the corner. "Mom, why are there so many plates?" Emily asked, her wide eyes darting toward the elaborate table setting. "We're having guests over for dinner," Amelia explained lightly. "It's a special night for Daddy." "Can we come to the dinner?" Noah asked, his voice full of hope. "Not tonight, sweetheart," Amelia said gently, kneeling to meet his gaze. "You'll have dinner with Sophia in the playroom. She's planning something fun just for you." Sophia crouched beside them, her reassuring smile putting them at ease. "How about pizza and a movie? Maybe even some popcorn if you're good," she suggested, her enthusiasm sparking immediate interest. Emily and Noah's faces lit up, and they eagerly followed Sophia to their party. Later that evening, the dinner party was in full swing. Logan, dressed in a tailored suit, commanded the room with his practiced charisma. His laugh was loud, his gestures deliberate, and his stories calculated to impress. Yet, it all felt hollow to Sophia, who lingered discreetly in the background. Logan's voice carried across the room as she cleared glasses from a side table. "Running a firm like ours takes more than skill. It takes discipline," he declared, swirling the wine in his glass. "My family understands that sacrifices are necessary for success." Sophia's grip on the glasses tightened. Sacrifices? The word echoed in her mind, a stark reminder of the void she had witnessed in his family. Moments later, Logan turned his attention to Sophia. "Sophia," he called, his tone unmistakably performative. "You've been hovering in the background all evening. Why don't you join us for a moment?" Sophia froze, sensing the tension in his voice. She stepped forward, her composure steady, though her instincts warned her this wasn't a genuine invitation. "I was just telling my colleagues about the complexities of contract law," Logan said, gesturing toward her with a faint smirk. "Tell me, Sophia, Have you picked up anything about the subject during your time here? The room chuckled lightly, sensing the edge in his question. Amelia's eyes flicked toward Sophia, her brow furrowing in concern. Sophia set down the glasses she was holding and met Logan's gaze. Not much, she replied calmly. But I'm always eager to learn. Logan leaned forward, clearly expecting her to falter. Then let's test your knowledge. How might you approach the defense if a client breaches a confidentiality agreement but claims they were coerced into signing it? The room fell silent, all eyes on Sophia. But instead of shrinking under the weight of his challenge, Sophia squared her shoulders and answered. Coercion would fall under duress in contract law, which could invalidate the agreement if proven. The first step would be to examine the circumstances under which the contract was signed, explicit threats, undue influence, and evidence supporting the coercion claim. However, she added, her tone unwavering, a skilled attorney would also consider countering the claim with documentation, timelines, and witness testimony. It's rarely black and white. A ripple of murmurs swept through the room. Logan's smirk faltered, his expression shifting from amusement to surprise. One of his colleagues leaned forward, clearly impressed. That's an excellent analysis. Where did you study? Sophia smiled modestly. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a nanny who happens to be studying law at a community college. The room erupted in astonishment. Amelia's laugh broke through the tension. A genuine, unrestrained sound that filled the air with warmth. Logan, she said, her voice tinged with amusement. It seems you've underestimated Sophia. For the first time, Logan's carefully curated image cracked. The laughter, the admiration directed at Sophia, and Amelia's remark left him unsettled. He would not soon forget a moment that marked the beginning of an unexpected shift in the Carter household. As the laughter from the dinner party settled, Logan found himself standing in a room where he was no longer the center of attention. His colleagues were buzzing about Sophia's response, exchanging impressed glances and murmurs of admiration. The nanny he had barely noticed had just outshined him in a field he had dominated for years. Amelia's laughter lingered in his ears, not just because of its rarity but because of its message. It wasn't mockery, it was liberation. For so long, she had played the role of the perfect wife, smoothing over his rough edges, but tonight, for once, she had allowed herself to revel in the moment, even if it came at his expense. Logan's discomfort was palpable. He tried to regain control of the room, shifting the conversation back to his victories and strategies, but the energy had shifted. His colleagues politely indulged him, but their genuine curiosity was now directed toward Sophia. By the end of the evening, Logan's unease had settled into a quiet storm. As the last guest left, he turned to find Amelia in the kitchen, rinsing glasses and humming softly to herself, a habit she hadn't indulged in years. You couldn't resist, could you? Logan said, his tone low but sharp. Amelia didn't flinch. She continued rinsing the glass in her hand, her voice calm. Resist what, Logan? Laughing at something genuinely funny? Or enjoying a moment of truth in this house? His jaw tightened. You made me look like a fool. No, Logan, she said, finally meeting his gaze. You did that all on your own. Her words hung in the air, cutting through the polished silence of their penthouse. Logan felt the weight of her resentment for the first time, not hidden behind polite smiles, but out in the open, undeniable and raw. Meanwhile, Sophia retreated to her room, her thoughts racing. She had been put on the spot, challenged in front of a room full of accomplished attorneys, yet she had held her ground. But the moment's satisfaction was tempered by the tension it had created. She could feel the undercurrents of Logan's frustration and knew that her position in the household had just become more complicated. Sophia resolved to remain professional, focusing on Emily and Noah, who would quickly become her anchor in the turbulent dynamics of the Carter family. They deserved stability, and she intended to provide it no matter the cost. The following day, the penthouse was unusually quiet. Logan sat in his office, staring at his laptop, but his mind was far from work. Amelia's words from the night before echoed in his head. He knew she was right. About the dinner party, his behavior, everything. For years, he had buried himself in his career, convincing himself that providing financial security was enough. But now, as the cracks in his family life widened, he couldn't longer ignore the truth. When he finally emerged, he found Amelia in the dining room, sipping her morning coffee. She looked up, her expression guarded. "We need to talk," Logan said, his voice softer than usual. Amelia set her cup down. "Do we, Logan? Or are you just here to defend yourself again?" He hesitated, then sighed. "I don't want to defend myself. I want to listen." Her eyes widened slightly, caught off guard by the admission. "All right," she said, folding her hands in her lap. "Then start by telling me why you think this family is falling apart." Logan sat across from her, his gaze steady. "Because I've been selfish," he admitted. "I've put my career above everything. Above you, the kids, and myself. Last night was a wake-up call." Sophia stood there, confident and composed, and I realized how far I drifted from the man I used to be. "The man you married." Amelia's expression softened, but her voice remained firm. "And what are you going to do about it, Logan? Words are easy. Actions are what matter." He nodded, taking her words to heart. "I want to start making changes. Real changes. Not just for you but for Emily and Noah. They deserve a father who's present, not just a provider." Amelia studied him for a long moment, searching for sincerity. Finally, she spoke. "If you're serious, Logan, you need to start apologizing to me, the kids, and Sophia. You humiliated her last night, and that wasn't fair." Logan's pride bristled at the thought, but he knew Amelia was right. "I will," he promised. "And I'll do better. For all of you." Later that day, Logan approached Sophia in the playroom, where she was helping Emily paint a picture. He cleared his throat, and both Sophia and Emily looked up. "Mr. Carter," Sophia said politely, though her posture was guarded. "Can I speak to you for a moment?" he asked, glancing at Emily. "Alone?" Sophia hesitated, then nodded. She followed Logan into the living room, her arms crossed. "I owe you an apology," Logan began. "Last night, I put you on the spot before my colleagues. It was unprofessional, disrespectful, and unfair. You didn't deserve that." Sophia's expression softened slightly, but her voice remained calm. "I appreciate the apology, Mr. Carter. However, I care more about how this affects Emily and Noah. They see more than you think, and they deserve better." Her words struck a nerve, but instead of lashing out, Logan nodded. "You're right. I've been blind to what they need and to what this family needs. I'm going to do better, and I hope you'll give me a chance to prove that." Sophia studied him momentarily, then said, "For Emily and Noah's sake, I hope you mean that." As the weeks passed, Logan began taking small but meaningful steps to repair his relationship with his family. He attended Emily's school play, cheering loudly from the audience, and joined Noah in building a model rocket, laughing as they launched it into the backyard. These moments, though simple, marked the beginning of a transformation, one that Amelia watched with cautious optimism. Sophia continued to be a guiding force in the Carter household, and her presence was a reminder of the warmth and connection the family had been missing. Yet, she couldn't ignore the pull of her dreams. Late at night, as the house fell silent, she pored over her law books, knowing that her time with the Carters was just one chapter of her story. As the days turned into weeks, Sophia's presence continued to reshape the Carter household. Emily and Noah thrived under her care, their laughter now a constant melody in the penthouse. Yet, Sophia felt a growing pull between her role as their nanny and her aspirations. After tucking the children into bed late at night, she would retreat to her room, where stacks of law books waited. Her desk, cluttered with notes and highlighters, bore witness to her tireless determination. Sophia knew her time with the Carters was finite. She had come into their lives as a temporary solution, but leaving now felt like abandoning a family that had come to mean so much to her. Still, her dream of becoming a lawyer burned brightly, and she reminded herself that pursuing it was the best way to honor her potential and Amelia's trust. Meanwhile, Logan struggled to balance the changes he had promised. He tried to engage with his children, attending Emily's spelling bee and cheering at Noah's soccer practice. But years of neglect couldn't be undone overnight. He often found himself unsure of how to connect with them. Emily's guarded smiles and Noah's occasional hesitation reminded him of the distance he needed to bridge. Amelia watched Logan's efforts with a mixture of hope and skepticism. She appreciated the changes, but a part of her worried they were fleeting. She needed to see more than gestures: consistency, commitment, and a willingness to prioritize their family above all else. The turning point came one evening as the family gathered for dinner, a rare occurrence in the Carter household. Logan had insisted on cooking, surprising everyone with a modest but heartfelt attempt at spaghetti and meatballs. Emily giggled at his messy apron while Noah proudly claimed he had helped stir the sauce. Sitting at the head of the table, Amelia watched the scene with cautious optimism. As they ate, Logan turned to Sophia. "Sophia," he began, clearing his throat. "I know I've been difficult, and thank you for everything. You've done more for this family than I've managed to do in years." Sophia glanced at him, her expression measured. "Thank you, Mr. Carter. But I think the credit belongs to Amelia and the kids. They've always had what it takes to be a strong family. You just needed to see it." Her words were direct but gentle, and they struck a chord with Logan. He nodded, his gaze dropping to his plate. "You're right. I've spent too long looking at my family as an extension of my success instead of seeing them for who they are." Amelia spoke up then, her voice steady. "It's not too late, Logan, but you need to show them and me that you're serious. Words are one thing, but actions are what will bring us back together." Logan met her gaze, a flicker of determination in his eyes. "I will," he said firmly. "Starting now." The evening ended with a rare sense of unity, but Sophia could sense the weight of Logan's unspoken struggle. Later, as she prepared to leave for the night, he approached her in the hallway. "Sophia," he said, his tone uncharacteristically humble. "I need your help." Sophia raised an eyebrow, surprised. "With what?" "Being a better father," he admitted. "I've spent so long prioritizing my career that I don't even know where to start. You've connected with Emily and Noah in ways I never have. Can you teach me?" Sophia hesitated, her instinct to stay professional clashing with her genuine care for the children. Finally, she nodded. "It's not about teaching, Mr. Carter. It's about showing up. Start small. Listen to them, play with them, and let them know they matter. You'll be surprised how much that means." Logan nodded, her words sinking in. "Thank you. I'll try." The following days saw Logan take small but meaningful steps. He joined Emily in her art project, asking questions about her drawings and encouraging her creativity. I held an aft spent building a Lego castle, laughing as the little boy insisted it needed a moat filled with toy dinosaurs. These moments, though simple, began to repair the bonds that had long been strained. Amelia noticed the changes, her guarded heart softening with each effort Logan made. For the first time in years, she saw glimpses of the man she had fallen in love with, a man who cared deeply, even if he had lost his way. While the Carter family began to heal, Sophia's journey reached a crossroads. One rainy evening, she received an unexpected call as she pored over her textbooks. It was an offer for an internship at a local law firm, an opportunity she had dreamed of but feared would never come. The reality of her situation tempered Sophia's excitement. Accepting the internship would mean leaving the Carter household, a decision that filled her with anticipation and sadness. Emily and Noah had become like family to her, and the thought of saying goodbye was bittersweet. The older woman reacted with pride when she shared the news with Amelia. "You've given so much to this family, Sophia," Amelia said, her voice warm. "It's time for you to pursue your dreams. You'll always have a place in our hearts." Sophia smiled, tears welling in her eyes. "Thank you, Mrs. Carter. That means more than you know." Sophia focused on leaving a lasting impact as her final days with the Carters approached. She organized a treasure hunt for Emily and Noah, with clues celebrating their unique strengths. At the end of the hunt, they found a box filled with small, thoughtful gifts. A set of colored pencils for Emily, a superhero cape for Noah, and a heartfelt note reminding them of their incredible potential. When the day came for Sophia to say goodbye, the Carter family gathered in the living room. Emily clung to her, tears streaming down her face, while Noah hugged her tightly. Logan and Amelia stood nearby, their expressions filled with gratitude. "You'll always be part of our family," Amelia said, her voice thick with emotion. Sophia nodded, her tears threatening to spill. "And you'll always be part of mine." Sophia felt sadness and hope as she walked out of the penthouse for the last time. Her journey with the Carters had ended, but it had left her stronger, wiser, and ready to face the next chapter of her life. Sophia's departure marked a significant shift in the Carter household. Her absence left a void, but it also served as a reminder of the lessons she had imparted. Logan and Amelia found themselves navigating the delicate process of rebuilding their family, each step taken with intention and care. For Logan, the journey was incredibly humbling. He began prioritizing family dinners, where Emily eagerly shared stories from school, and Noah showcased his latest creations. Logan tried to engage, listening intently and asking questions that made the children feel seen. He also started setting aside time for one-on-one activities with each child. One Saturday morning, Logan surprised Emily by taking her to a local art supply store. She was initially hesitant, unsure of his intentions, but when he encouraged her to pick out whatever she needed for her projects, her eyes lit up with excitement. They spent the afternoon painting together, Logan's clumsy strokes eliciting giggles from Emily. It was the first time in years she had seen her father as more than a distant figure. Noah, too, felt the impact of Logan's efforts. On a sunny afternoon, Logan joined him in the backyard to fly a kite. Noah's laughter echoed as the kite soared high above them. "Look, Dad, it's going higher than the clouds," he exclaimed, his small hands gripping the string tightly. Logan smiled, his heart swelling with pride. "That's all you, buddy. You're the best kite pilot I know." Amelia observed these moments with a mixture of relief and cautious optimism. Logan was trying, honestly trying, and for the first time, she allowed herself to believe that change was possible. Yet, she also knew the path to healing wasn't linear. There would be setbacks, and rebuilding the trust eroded over the years would take time. As weeks turned into months, Logan began to reflect on the more profound implications of his transformation. It wasn't just about being a better father or husband. It was about redefining his identity. For so long, he had tied his worth to his career, using his professional success to mask the cracks in his personal life. But now, he realized that true success lay in the connections he nurtured, not the accolades he achieved. One evening, as the children were tucked in bed and the penthouse was quiet, Logan sat with Amelia on the couch. The soft glow of the city lights filtered through the windows, casting a warm ambience over the room. "I've been thinking," Logan began, his voice steady but thoughtful, "about everything, about us, the kids, my career. I've spent so much of my life chasing something I thought would make me happy. But I now see that what I needed was right before me." Amelia turned to him, her expression soft but cautious. "And what are you going to do about it?" "I want to shift my focus," Logan said. "I've already started delegating more at work. I'm not stepping back completely, but I'm making space. For us, for the kids. I want to be there for every soccer game, every school play, every moment I've missed." Amelia's eyes glistened with emotion. "That's a start, Logan. But it's not just about being there physically. It's about being present, being involved." "I know," Logan said, taking her hand in his. "And I'm committed to that. I want to rebuild this family, Amelia. I know I've let you down and can't change the past, but I can be better moving forward." The sincerity in his voice touched Amelia deeply. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to believe in the possibility of a future where they could find their way back to each other. To solidify his commitment, Logan planned a family trip to the lake house, filled with memories of happier times. The announcement at dinner was met with excitement from Emily and Noah, who couldn't wait to explore the woods and spend time by the water. For Amelia, the trip symbolized hope, a chance to reconnect and create new memories. The weekend at the lake house was transformative. Logan taught Emily how to fish, patiently guiding her as she cast her line. Meanwhile, Amelia and Noah picked wildflowers by the shore, their laughter mingling with the gentle rustle of the trees. In the evenings, they played board games by the fireplace, the flames mirroring the growing warmth in their family dynamic. One night, as the children slept soundly, Logan and Amelia sat on the porch, watching the stars reflect on the still water. Logan reached for her hand, his touch tentative but sincere. "I know I have a long way to go," he said quietly, "but I want you to know I'm all in. For you, the kids, and us." Amelia turned to him, her expression softening. "I can see that," she said, her voice gentle. "And it means more than you know." Back at home, the positive changes continued. Logan began attending school events, volunteering for family projects, and setting aside his phone during meals. Amelia smiled more often, her heart gradually letting go of the resentment that had weighed it down for so long. Meanwhile, Sophia, now an intern at a law firm, kept in touch with the Carters. She visited occasionally, bringing small surprises for Emily and Noah, who eagerly shared updates about their lives. For Sophia, the Carters remained a reminder of the impact she could have on others, a lesson she carried with her as she navigated her new role. The Carter household was far from perfect, but it was undeniably better. Children's laughter, shared meals, and small but meaningful gestures of love and care marked the beginning of a new chapter built on the foundation of understanding, forgiveness, and hope. Months passed, and Sophia's life began transforming in ways she hadn't imagined. Her internship at the law firm was demanding but exhilarating, a testament to the years of perseverance and sacrifice she had poured into her dream. Despite the challenges, Sophia thrived, and her sharp intellect and dedication earned her the respect of her colleagues. The day of Sophia's law school graduation arrived with crisp, clear weather that felt like a promise of new beginnings. As she stood backstage in her cap and gown, clutching her diploma with trembling hands, she thought of the journey that had brought her here. The late nights, the sacrifices, and the unexpected family supporting her along the way. When her name was called, the applause was thunderous. As she crossed the stage, her eyes scanned the audience until they landed on the familiar faces of the Carter family. Amelia waved enthusiastically, her expression brimming with pride, while Logan offered a rare but genuine smile. Emily and Noah were the loudest of all, their cheers cutting through the noise as they waved hand-painted signs that read, "We love you, Sophia." After the ceremony, Sophia walked through the crowd toward the Carters. She knelt to hug Emily and Noah, who threw their arms around her, their joy contagious. Amelia stepped forward next, pulling Sophia into a warm embrace. "You've come so far, Sophia," Amelia said, her voice thick with emotion. "We're so proud of you." Logan approached last, extending a hand. "Congratulations," he said, his tone steady but sincere. "You've worked hard, and you've earned this. Thank you for everything you've done for us and for showing me what it means to improve." Sophia blinked back tears, shaking his hand firmly. "Thank you, Mr. Carter. You've shown me that change is possible, even when it feels out of reach." As Sophia began her new career, she carried the lessons she had learned with her. Her first day as a junior lawyer felt surreal, the culmination of years of determination and growth. In her office, a small photo pinned to her corkboard reminded her where she had started. A picture of her with Emily and Noah, their faces alight with joy during one of their playdates. Back at the Carter household, the family continued to rebuild their lives. Logan and Amelia, once on the brink of emotional collapse, now found strength in their shared efforts to nurture their children and repair their marriage. Logan's commitment to being present deepened. He surprised Emily by joining her for a father-daughter art class, where he painted a lopsided but heartfelt portrait of their family. With Noah, he became a coach for the boys' soccer team, an experience that brought them closer with every practice and game. Amelia, too, found a new purpose. Inspired by Sophia's journey, she began volunteering at a local community center, mentoring women navigating the challenges of balancing family and personal aspirations. Her once perfect socialite image was replaced with a genuine sense of fulfillment, and her connection with Logan strengthened as they supported each other's endeavors. One evening, as the family gathered for dinner, Logan raised a glass of sparkling cider. "To new beginnings," he said, his gaze sweeping over his family. "To a future where we prioritize what truly matters, each other." Emily and Noah clinked their glasses enthusiastically, their laughter filling the room. Amelia smiled, her heart full as she raised her glass alongside them. Sophia's connection to the family endured. She visited often, bringing updates about her cases and listening as Emily and Noah excitedly shared their milestones. On one such visit, Amelia pulled Sophia aside. "You've inspired us more than you know," Amelia said, her voice warm. "You've given this family a second chance. I hope you realize how much you mean to us." Sophia smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. "And you've shown me what resilience and love can achieve. I'll always carry that with me." As Sophia drove home that evening, she reflected on how far they had all come. The Carter family had transformed, their once fractured bonds now strengthened by effort and understanding. And Sophia, once a struggling law student, had found a career and a more profound sense of purpose. Years later, Sophia stood in her law office, reviewing a pro bono case for a young mother seeking custody of her children. The case reminded her of Amelia and her strength in holding her family together during its darkest days. Inspired, Sophia dedicated part of her practice to helping families in crisis, believing that even the most minor acts of support could spark lasting change. Life was far from perfect in the Carter household, but it was rich with love and growth. Emily had blossomed into a confident teenager with a passion for writing, while Noah's boundless energy was channeled into soccer, where he excelled under his father's guidance. Logan and Amelia, now closer than ever, continued to nurture their family and support each other's dreams. The story of the Carters and Sophia wasn't just about healing. It was about the power of second chances, the courage to change, and the enduring strength of human connection. Together, they had built a legacy of hope, proving that even the most broken bonds could be mended with love, effort, and understanding.